Welcome everyone. We're right now working in the Dreamweaver Creative Cloud 2014 edition. We're going to be going over basic ways on how to make your own HTML page. We're also going to learn how to open a pre-existing HTML page, how to modify CSS and HTML. Let's start off by making our first HTML page. Whenever you may think about wanting to build your website for a first time, you may think to yourself, I want to build several pages. Well, we'll start off by building one, and then we can build off from there. If you want to start off by building a page, you want to start off by building HTML. Adobe has started to make their pages a little bit easier, their coding a little bit more simplistic, working with HTML5. You'll see right now we're in design view. There's a couple different views you can go from. Go with design, code, split. Split's my favorite view because you can see the code that you're writing. At the same time, you can see it in the content area that would display in your browser. First thing I like to break down is how the page is structured. Whenever we're working with code for the first time, this may look foreign to us. It may look like a foreign language, which it is. It's hypertext markup language. And that's what we're telling the browser, that it's technically a computer that'll be reading this code. We're telling that computer that it's this kind of code that we're sending to you to read. Hypertext markup language, it's really just a set of text, but in different syntax than you might be familiar with. Whenever you see head, you see it's a less than and a greater than sign with the word head in between. Just think to yourself, this is a tag. It's an opening tag indicating that the head of the website, information that you don't see in the content area, will be located. Whenever we go to body, we have an opening and closing body tag. At that point, we'll have content that will populate in the browsing area. But whenever we're working in the head, it's mainly for the title. Like we'll see the title in browsers above here. We'll also find a link to a style sheet that we'll create in one moment, or we'll probably see it in a file that we'll bring in. Right now what I'm doing is I'm changing the title. We'll just call it a demo. Now I want to show the simplicity and the beauty of Dreamweaver, how it'll automatically change my title there. And that'll populate here whenever I'm working in a browser. So what we've already changed is we've worked in the head and we've changed the title to the website. So whenever you're looking at this raw code, it's really easy to break down. You're working with HTML, we opened it, and we're going to close the HTML. So within that, there's really a head area where you don't show the information, and there's a body area where you do show the information. You do show text and images. We can go ahead and apply that right now. One of the first introductory tags that I like to teach students is the heading tag. You'll see the less than, you'll type lowercase h, number 1 through 6, and then a greater than sign. You're able to now put any kind of text that you like. We're going to be working with a specific image from the World Cup. It was Brazil versus Colombia. I believe Brazil won 2-1. We're going to give it a closing heading tag now. Less than, you use a /, and then your same element that you used in the tag above, and it automatically completes it for me with Dreamweaver. So very similar to how we have our head structured here, opening and closing. We have our body that has an opening and closing, and then we have a head that's opening and closing. So you'll see a lot of tags within other tags. That's part of the structure of how to build a website. Dreamweaver does a lot of this for us whenever they create that blank template for us. So whenever you're working for code for the first time, this is some of the more basic kind of code that you'll see. So we can go to live and we can see how that heading tag would look. Now this is a thicker, more enlarged font than we normally see, and that's with the H1 that we gave that specifically. We can now go in and give it a paragraph tag, which is just a letter P. Use the less than sign, greater than sign, very similar to the H1. And you can already see how right here, how Dreamweaver is giving us little indications on we're working with the body, we're working with certain other elements, and it would probably give me a lot of flexibility there as well. But I'm writing the code, trying to also teach you the code as well, the visual elements. So let's just write I believe Brazil won 2-1 against Colombia in the matchup. So now I'm going to close my paragraph tag, so it's a less than sign, / and once again Dreamweaver knows to automatically complete that. So now I can go and hit refresh, and then you'll see the difference between when I use a heading tag and a paragraph tag, how it looks right here. Now I want to add an image. Let's say I want to add an image in between my heading and my paragraph. I'll put a space in between the two. You'll see the opening and closing. Now I'm going to go and use the insert. There's a couple different ways of doing it. I'm going to use the drop down insert. I'm going to go to image and then go to image. I could have also used a rollover image. You could basically make one of your images slightly more opaque than another. It depends on really however you want to do it. We're going to use image that we have here. So we have a very fitting image for the result of the game in the Brazil. So now we have a very simplistic result to a soccer match from the World Cup, and we also have it displayed in a very blog-like manner on our web page. Now we could obviously give this a lot of style, a lot of look, but right now I just kind of want to show how it look on the web, and then we'll take it the next step in our next video with more of the CSS and how to build that. Right now we're going to go to, we'll preview it in Google Chrome. We'll save it. Call it demo. And you'll see right there our image and how it would look on the web. So now we're going to give it just some more look and feel and add to it as we go.